In 2022, the University of California Santa Barbara Dance Team began their UDA College Dance Nationals Journey, and since then, they have established themselves as a powerhouse in the Dance Division I category. Coming from the coast of California, this self-coached team has risen to become one of the state's top dance team programs. Today, I am thrilled to share with you my interview with Mackenzie, a senior and captain of the UCSB Dance Team. We dove into their unique team culture, their inspiring UDA journey, and how they thrive as a self-coached team, plus so much more. If you enjoy interviews and content like this, follow if you're on TikTok, subscribe if you're on YouTube. Either way, like and share this video with your dance team friends. UDA is right around the corner, and I keep saying it. You're going to want to tune in for more interviews, dance team news, reactions, scores, results, all of that fun stuff. With that being said, let's get on to the interview with Mackenzie. I feel like I got everyone on my dream list.
Hey,
So
you are definitely famous amongst the dance team community. Everyone knows who you are.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I have so many questions about UCSB, the culture that you guys have, game day experiences, nationals, etc. You run as a self-coached team.
Yes.
What role do you play in setting the tone and direction for the team?
Yeah, we set a major tone because obviously we're both teammates and captains, so there's that kind of line in between us where, you know, even if I'm giving you a correction and stuff, I'm also applying it to my and we're all students. So, like, during midterms, just as much as the whole team is, like, stressed out about all their tests and stuff, so are me and my other captain.
Oh yeah.
So we have to kind of find ways before practice and at practice to kind of make sure that, like, we're kind of setting a school aside for a sec and getting into the right mindset of being like, "Okay, but now this is dance team, and we need to not show how stressed we are, whether it is because of school or just because of dance team in general, whether it's like, oh, we're behind on this payment or, we still need to register for, a flight or something." And kind of showing that to the team of like, we're not stressed, so you guys don't have to be stressed. Like we try to keep practices, um, as relaxed and focused on just the dancing part. So that way that kind of gives us a little break from stressed about everything else. Um, and it helps kind of keep everybody motivated and I think the energy up, which is important.
Yeah. So you as a captain, you have other captains, right?
Yeah, we have one other captain.
And then you have like other people that like help with other things like fundraising, planning, like how does that go into, because you guys are students as well. And I can't imagine being a full-time student, probably working as well too on top of that, running a dance team. It's just incredible to me. So can you tell me about like the different roles that people play on your team?
Yeah, so it's me and then one other captain. And we basically run the practices, we do all the behind the scenes work, basically act as coach. And then we also have a treasurer who helps with all the finance, the budget and stuff, but then also kind of acts as like another captain, especially when we have years like this year where it's both of the captains are seniors, so they're going to be leaving,
Hmm.
and our treasurer is a junior. So she's kind of able to like do everything with us, so then that way in the years after, everybody still knows what to do, and we're
Yeah.
not starting from scratch every year.
Yeah. When it comes to like nationals practices or even like game day practices, do you guys ever bring anyone out from like the outside to come in and help you?
Yeah, we bring in 2 people for our UDA routines. There's Serena and Kaylin Flores. They're amazing. I've known them since I was in, like, middle school, and we kind of last year needed people to come in to help us and to take with us to Florida.
Yeah.
And so I reached out to them, and then they've been working with us since last year, and they're just amazing. And it helps too with in Florida. That way, me and Christina can then just focus on our own dancing
Oh yeah.
and aren't still focusing on like coaching and like making sure everyone's where they need to be and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it definitely helps a lot.
Oh yeah. And you need someone to push play. Someone's got to start the
Exactly.
music.
You still need someone there.
Yeah. So as a captain on the team, what are some of like the main important traits that you think someone should uphold?
Respect is a huge one,
Oh
of
yeah.
respect for your teammates and understanding that, you know, everyone's gonna be going on that floor.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if you're in this captain position, like, you hold just as much power as everybody else on the team of kind of deciding how you guys are gonna perform. Um, and I think that's a huge part of it, as well as, like, keeping that, like, humility. Like,
Oh
yeah, you
yeah.
have this captain position, and you're, leading the team with, like, practices and, registration, behind the scenes stuff, but you are dancing. And
Yeah.
so while you may be saying all of these like critiques and corrections and, like being like, we have to hit the turns, you're also having to take in those corrections and understanding that just because you're captain, that doesn't mean you're necessarily the best person on the team. That just
Yeah.
is you're the best fit for a leadership role, you
Uh-huh.
know?
Yeah, I
So,
agree. When I was dancing on Warriors, which is actually how I met Lily, a previous
oh my
captain at
gosh,
UCSB.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So my team in specifically, we were the all-male hip hop team for Warriors. My first 2 years, or actually my first year, we didn't have like a set coach. Our captains
Oh.
ran the entire practices, set the routines, cleaned the routines. So when you talk about that humility part, oh yeah, I feel that because you can't tell one dancer to have a clean and then go out on stage
And
and
then
do it
not
the
do it.
complete exactly. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
So when we previously talked, you mentioned the family aspect. What has your team done to like build that mold of family and how do you maintain that throughout the season?
I think that it's something that just kind of it happens naturally in many ways of just you have an amazing group of girls and stuff. But then also when like we start off the year at UDA camp, that's during the summer and obviously like
Yeah.
dorms aren't open. And then there's many girls who just won't have a place to live because Santa Barbara is not really where anyone's from. Like we all kind of have to travel here.
Yeah.
And so starting off over the summer after you first meet these girls, you're already having to spend like weeks living in their houses. And you get very close to one another very quickly.
Yeah.
Uh, with that and also with using, like, UDA camp and being able to kind of just have that time where it is just us, because we don't bring in Serena and Kaylin until, we start working on our UDA routines, and so
Uh-huh.
I think starting off just with camp and, like, having those moments where it's just us starting from the beginning and, like, in not as stressful of an environment, we're able to quickly, kind of get to know each other and build that relationship from the beginning.
When your time comes up as captain, what is it that you're looking for in a new captain, and how does that process go when you guys are selecting that new captain?
Yeah, it's something that we look at throughout the whole year. Um, and starting from you kind of start to realize like who might be a good fit for the role, whether they're speaking up during practices or giving good suggestions. And then after right around March-ish, we'll do a vote. So then you kind of we'll people will say like, I want to be captain in like a Google form. And then we'll have a practice where you give your speech and talk about why, you would like to be captain and why people should vote for you. And then at the end of that practice, we all go into a little Google form and then vote for who we want. And then we just kind of announce with who has the most votes. So it's a really like easy process, but
Yeah.
it's definitely something that's kind of looked at throughout the whole year. Or like if you're treasurer, then like people are kind of looking at you and saying like, "Oh, like, are you gonna be a good captain next year? Like, what are you doing this year that I can then look at next year?" Or just, seeing
Uh-huh.
who's kind of already stepping up.
Yeah. When you say when you say like everyone's in a huddle and someone's giving a speech, I don't know why, but Bring It On pops in my head
Oh
when
my
they're like
gosh.
selecting the new captain for the year. So
Honestly, sometimes it's like that.
got to keep it original. Got to keep it
Right?
original. So UCSB does not have a football program. What sports do you guys support throughout the season, and like what does a game day look like for you?
We support, soccer and basketball. So we kind of treat soccer as our little, like, football games, and those are really fun because we'll still get to perform at the like on the field and whatnot, but it's not quite as like strict as football games where you're, on the like sidelines the whole
Hmm.
time and constantly cheering. We tend to sit in the stands and then we'll go out at halftime and then go back to the stands. Um, where basketball is definitely more interactive. We'll do more sidelines throughout the whole thing, and then we'll kind of do multiple performances throughout the game, like timeouts and halftime. We'll perform with cheer, and then we'll also, like, do, like, t-shirt toss and, like, stuff like that. I think game day with at UCSB is kind of one of those cool things where we get to have the experience of doing it,
Yeah.
but it's not as strict as it is when you have a football program or you're a part of, like, athletics, and there's different requirements and stuff, so it's kind of more, I think, fun and, like, laid back and exciting.
Yeah. With that, do you think that you guys have a lot more time throughout your practices and season to like focus on that competition aspect or any like technical requirements or anything of that sort?
I definitely think so, because I mean, we get in right now it's prime basketball season,
Yeah.
and we have the liberty kind of not being on athletics that we're able to say, like, "Sorry, we can't do these
Mm,
basketball games. We are not able to go, the 2 weeks leading up to UDA, we will not be at a basketball game."
yeah.
Which I think is definitely a liberty that we have, and it's kind of one of those things where it's like, on one hand, we'd love to be a part of athletics and get to, have those
Yeah.
perks, but then there is a lot of freedom that comes with not being on athletics.
Oh yeah.
So
Okay, what has been a favorite game day routine that you guys have performed?
from this year it's "Man, I Feel Like a Woman." We did it at senior night soccer games, and we got to wear our cowboy boots and our full little getup, and it was so fun. I think we all just had a great time. We learned it at UDA camp, and it was one of the ones where, like, we all learned it. We didn't split up the team to learn different routines for that one. So it's good memories with it.
Okay, going into the nationals experience for UCSB. Now, the past, actually, I'm going to say, since you have started going to UDA, you guys have had some great success. What do you think it is that has set you apart from your competition or just helped you elevate to another level so quickly?
I think it's, how much we want it and, like, how much we
Mm,
wanna, like, prove ourselves. Our first year, none of us knew what to expect. Most of us had never even done UDA, like, with our high schools or anything, so we were all completely new to this experience, and we got 7th in jazz and then 4th in, or no, I'm sorry, we didn't even place for jazz. We didn't
mm,
make finals. And then we got 4th for pom, and I think that that year was like, "Oh, we're having fun, we're having a good time, like, we're just kinda seeing what happens." And then every year after that, we just wanted to kind of prove that we can get better and better and place higher and higher and just kind of prove that, UCSB is a school that people should look out for, and we're
oh,
here to
yeah.
stay.
Oh, yeah. I've been
Um
saying that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where we all kind of we want people to know who we are and other people to also want to come to UCSB. So
Yeah. So when you guys are scouting, this is separate from nationals. I just thought of this. When you guys are scouting for new talent, are you looking for those competitive level aspects that dancers should have?
that's definitely a part of it, but I think more so we're just kind of looking at, do you fit in with the team, both
Mm,
dancing and, like, personality. Um, we are self-coached, so if we don't really get along with each other, it makes it 10 times harder. So I think that, like, with tryouts and stuff, it's like, okay, do you have, you know, are you dancing up to the same level as the girls on the team or higher? And with that, am I seeing you kind of like, cheering other people on and not looking like you don't really want to be here? I think that's kind
yeah.
of the main thing, is seeing if you can find people who have that same passion.
So what does it mean for you personally to see your team do so well at nationals?
Oh my god, I think it means to me, like, everything. Like, it's such a huge payoff to work so hard and then to end up with the results that you were hoping for. Our we every year, we were just hoping to get better than the year prior,
Mm,
either the same or higher. We're never really rooting for that, like, Obviously we would love a win,
Yeah.
but our goal going in is never like we are getting first in both of them. It's like, no, we're gonna stay at the same level or grow. We don't want to go, past to what we were before.
Yeah.
And I think for this year, it being my senior year, my freshman year was our first year going to UDA. So I think that for this year, for us to do even better and, potentially bring home maybe a gold would be amazing because it's not really just for us. I feel like at this point, it's also for all of our alumni and the girls prior to us who have led us to this moment. I mean, like Lily, it was her first year at UDA and that was her senior year. And
Wow.
I was able to dance with her and now it's mine. And it's like, I would love to be able to say, like, for all of them, we made it. Like, we kept
Yeah.
it going and we pushed and, like, look at us now.
Full circle.
Full
That's
circle.
amazing. Full circle. I love that. Can you recall like a specific moment or performance at UDA Nationals that was like a turning point for your team?
Definitely. I think it's our second year. We placed third in jazz to the song Witch Witch and we oh my gosh, I've never felt that kind of energy on stage with other people before. Like it was insane. There's a moment at the end where we're like charging forward and you can hear in the video us yelling like, "Do you want it?" Like we all were just so excited and pumped to be there. And I think it was also a turning point for us to kind of realize like what we are fully capable of. We had gotten fourth in Palm the year before, we had gotten fourth again that year, but then we went from with jazz not even making finals then to getting third. And I think it was just this huge moment in our heads like, whoa, we are able to be that team. We can
Yeah.
be that team that we see all these others where they're incredible and able to place in the top 10 every time and we can be just like them. Like I think it
Yeah.
was a huge, mental change as well.
Does your team, would you say like a majority of your team come from like a studio background or like a dance team background?
We all mainly come from studio backgrounds.
Okay.
Yeah, most of us have never done palm until we go
I was going to
to
ask.
college. Yeah.
Like, what is that transition like going from studio dance to, because I've had dancers where I've had to train them, like going from studio dance, contemporary, lyrical ballet, and then you switch them to palm, which is like sharp picture. And that
Yeah.
transition usually takes a while. Like,
Yeah.
what is that transition like when you guys were switching over to palm?
It's definitely interesting. Um, I think it's a lot easier of a transition now since most of us will have been on the team and have been doing palm now for multiple years.
Yeah.
But that the first year is always the roughest because
Yeah.
we're all in this together trying to figure out like big cinnamon rolls, little cinnamon rolls. It's such a different like switching your whole brain mentality.
Uh-huh.
And those dances are so much harder than I feel like people realize. Like
Mm-hmm.
I like dance is hard, like obviously, and like stamina and jazz can be rough, but that stamina in palm is so much harder than I feel like people can even imagine. And so that transition is just starting off right from the beginning. I think at auditions, we do look at people's palm technique, but we're also more just looking at, okay, do you have the potential to get the palm
Yes.
technique? Are you teachable?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Are you coachable? That's a big
Yeah.
one. What advice do you give to any teams out there that might be going through that self-coached process?
Have patience, both with each other and just, in general. I think that a lot of times it can get very stressful because you're also doing all of these other things on top of being coach and with finals, midterms, jobs, life. But I think just having patience, knowing like it'll all get done,
Mhm.
spread out your time, it'll be okay. I think that's a huge thing. And then kind of going back to that respect, um, having that respect for one another and just understanding that you're all a part of the team no matter what your title is.
I have a dancer, very young. I want to say maybe she was 10 or 11 at the time. She saw UCSB Dance Team Palm 2024 Nationals and
Um,
told her mom, I want to dance at UCSB.
Oh,
What advice would you give to a young dancer like that that's looking into dancing at UCSB?
try to find that, like, love for dance and, hold on to it. I know that once it gets to kinda high school, that's when people's love for dance starts to kind of, dwindle and go in different
Mhm.
directions, but I think, dance is something that's always there for you, in every moment, and so I think just trying to hold on to that passion will help on a team like us, where we really use that passion to fuel us, um, and, stay in school. UCSB,
Yeah.
we can't recruit, so,
Yep.
keep up those grades so that you can get in.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, I mean, just, work hard, and that's what's gonna get you further in life than natural talent, so
Well, thank you, Mackenzie. I appreciate your flexibility with being able to hop on and do this a second time around. I
absolutely.
look forward. It's in my calendar, January 13th. I'm driving to UCSB.
Yes. We're
I'm
so
gonna watch.
excited.
I can't
I
wait.
told the team, everyone's really excited for you to come.
I'm excited. Well, thank you. Best of luck leading up to UDA Nationals,
Thank
and I will be
you.
seeing you guys soon.
Yes, happy New Year's.
Happy New Year. Bye.
Bye.